I feel like there's a very interesting update as of right now when it comes to Onyx, even though nothing I say is financial advice. And what is that? I saw a post very recently when it comes to Onyx, and it said that there's basically the gist of it, how there's a proposal as of right now. Now, what is this proposal even about? It is proposing allocating a 100 million XCN grant to launch an XCN/USDT pool on PancakeSwap as part of phase 1 liquidity deployment on BNB chain. Now, when I take a look at something like this, before I kind of get into why I'm a fan of PancakeSwap and, kind of like the BNB chain in general, some people out there like to ask me, hey, am I going to be participating in this kind of like proposal? Am I going to be allegedly kind of like voting? Nah, it's just a little bit like too messy for me. I'm not talking about like Messi, the soccer player, but I'm just saying like kind of just messy in general. I don't like to do that. Like for instance, when I take a look at, some of the other projects out there that have this DAO aspect. And what do I mean by DAO? It stands for DAO, and that stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Now, Onyx, or should I say the Onyx DAO, of course, because of the name, we have to take a look at that DAO aspect. A DAO is an entity that is designed to be fully autonomous without a central point of control. Now, of course, people may be thinking, okay, what is that all about? Now, allegedly, when it comes to these DAOs, right, there can be some proposals there. And again, holders of the native token can typically vote, on these proposals. And in my opinion, again, when it comes to other projects out there that I hold that have this aspect, like I take a look at, for instance, Beam. Beam is a project that's focused on blockchain gaming. I just don't really kind of want to bother with that type of stuff. But again, I just want to talk about this nonetheless because I think the concept of this is pretty interesting. Because if we take a look at PancakeSwap, for instance, right, it's one of the largest decentralized exchanges out there. And if I think about the BNB chain, I typically think about, beyond just thinking about like BNB and the market cap of it, which is of course very massive, but I'm just saying beyond that, I think about PancakeSwap. When I think about, again, BNB chain and the DeFi aspect of it, the decentralized finance part, I think about PancakeSwap. And when it comes to Ethereum, I usually think about Uniswap. For a long time, PancakeSwap is kind of like the competitor when it comes to Uniswap. But then because Ethereum, the adoption is so fantastic, of course, Uniswap is considered to be much more, I would say, more dynamic, right, than something like PancakeSwap. So then I think this is a pretty unique thing because if we take a look at this could hypothetically, I think, give more exposure when it comes to something like XCN. And again, do I think XCN really needs it? I mean, not necessarily really, because we take a look at how well XCN did not too long ago, but I think it can't be too bad either, But I just think this is pretty interesting nonetheless, because some people out there feel like this is not necessary. Again, let's say allocating like 100 million XCN. Like some people may be thinking, okay, for what? Why not do that for other things? Let's say in theory. But then it's kind of 50-50. Some could view it as a good thing. Some could view it as a, somewhat of a mediocre thing. But I think it's whatever, if let's say this didn't happen, let's say this proposal didn't get accepted, I'm fine with it. But let's say it did, I'm fine with it too. Like it doesn't really affect my belief when it comes to Onyx. I'm still bullish on it anyways, because I feel like the exchange listings when it comes to XCN is already kind of impressive in and of itself, that it doesn't really need any more kind of, I would say, knickknacks or bells and whistles to the project of Onyx. I think it's already good enough as it is. However, of course, some people may be thinking, okay, if you think that way, why is the price of XCN going down? Well, take a look at altcoins in general. What isn't really going down when it comes to altcoins? I'm sure there might be some exceptions here and there, but generally speaking, right, a lot of them are having a pullback. But the way you take a look at it is that why would I be bullish on a project when it's like nearing its peak, as opposed to when I can be bullish on it when the altcoin space isn't doing good? That only makes sense to me. If let's say I wanted to buy, some rice at a grocery store, let's say at Costco or something, and let's say there's a discount, I would like it, right, if I actually wanted to buy that. So then, in my opinion, why would I be bearish at a time when things are not looking good and then be bullish when things are looking good? It doesn't really make sense. I want to think the opposite, because take a look at, historically speaking, right? Who are the ones that, made it big when it comes to just like Bitcoin and whatnot? Those weren't the ones that, kind of got Bitcoin at above 100 grand, right? I mean, in theory, take a look at those who got Bitcoin at $1 or like $1,000 or whatever, It just kind of showcases that at a time when people are, bearish, some people out there, they're actually bullish, right? And the ones that did hold, assuming that some of them still do hold right now, I mean, could you imagine? I mean, think about how Onyx still has stuff in the works, quite essentially. Like, for instance, they're planning to launch Goliath, which is allegedly going to be this very amazing layer one blockchain for the world of finance. Who knows? They're planning to launch the testnet in Q3 of this year and the mainnet in Q1 of next year. Not really much updates when it comes to that, from what I've seen. But then it could also be that they're working on it behind the scenes very diligently. Who knows? I'm not a part of their team, so I can't say how it's doing because I don't know. But then the way to take a look at it is that at least this is something that I'm looking forward to. I think it's very interesting. I think it's very unique because do we really need another layer one blockchain? No, we don't. I think there's a lot already. But then, in my opinion, because it kind of showcases to me that, you know what, at least the project is doing something. Like, people like to say, okay, why even launch Goliath if there's something like the Stellar blockchain? I'm totally aware of that. The Stellar blockchain adoption is good. It's lightning fast. Goliath is never defeating, the Stellar blockchain, in my opinion. Like, this is just my opinion, right? Just the way I take a look at it. But then it doesn't mean that it can't somewhat gain attention because is Ethereum the only layer one blockchain out there? No, it's not, So then there's still room for others to really prosper. Like, for instance, Solana, we take a look at BNB Chain and whatnot. I mean, there's a bunch. Algorand, of course, Cardano, we take a look at, again, a bunch, right? But then I think you get the point here. I don't think it's only going to be one to kind of dominate and nothing else can even, do anything. I still think that maybe Goliath can make an impact, maybe not as big as Stellar because, of course, the following, the established nature of it is already there, but at least it gives me something to look forward to. And if we take a look at, XCN and the idea of it maybe reaching the price of $1, considering current circulating supply and market cap at that point would be around $33.5 billion. That's around a 72x from here. I get it. Seems a little bit kind of like, impossible, but I'm still staying patient because XRP currently has a market cap that is well beyond $100 billion. So imagine what it would do if, let's say, the altcoin space was doing very good. So in my opinion, this doesn't seem maybe too much to ask for. Even if, let's say, XCN went to the price of 50 cents, still over a 30x from here in theory, allegedly. So why would I give up? It makes no sense. I feel like if we take a look at the crypto space as of right now in a vacuum, like we take a look at the factors, I think it's so bullish actually. Take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the Ethereum ETF, the number of institutional investors, the amount of enterprise adoption. We have more cryptocurrency owners as of right now than ever before in history, allegedly, according to Crypto.com research, at over 600 million. If that's not bullish, I don't know what is. But then the thing is, the markets in general are not allowing for that to really showcase what it's capable of because the markets in general aren't doing the best. So no matter how bullish the factors are, if the markets are not doing good, it's not going to really matter. But then, in my opinion, it at least gives a good catalyst to when the market, let's say, hypothetically does pick up again. I think it could maybe be a good start for a altcoin season. Who knows? Only time will tell. We can take a look back in history, though, and kind of like have a little bit of entertainment, I would assume, because usually altcoins, as a worst case scenario, they typically peak around 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. The last one happened in April of last year, so 18 months on top of that, that's around October this year. I mean, again, I get it, we're nearing the end of June right now, but still, kind of around 4 months away, give or take. So in my opinion, even if, let's say, the markets were doing absolutely fantastic, even as of right now, based off history at least, it may not even be a time yet when altcoins are supposed to peak as a worst case scenario. So why would I think that there's going to be no altcoin season? XCN, keep in mind, did that not too long ago without the altcoin space really being the best as what it could hypothetically be. You know what I mean? So imagine what it could do if, let's say, the markets were really amazing. Now, this is all speculation. I can't tell the future, but there's only one thing I can control, and that's myself. And I'm going to be dollar cost averaging, acquiring, holding, and just waiting. Literally, that's it. I'm going to do what I've been doing ever since the beginning. Ever since a time where everyone doubted XCN and I was acquiring it, I want to do that still as of right now and just wait and see. That's it. I did that back then and I'm going to still do it right now. But again, $1 wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.